Hello there, and we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to today's show. See, yeah, guys, I've been really busy, for some time. That's why the Ryan and Claude show. Actually, Ryan has been very busy, so even he hasn't really had time. So that's why the Ryan and Claude show didn't come up on Tuesday. And on Wednesday, Thursday, I was supposed to have a show with Northside LDN and Digisports yesterday, but I've been just so
Yeah,
overwhelmed with work. But you know what? Today I'm having a guest. A very lovely guest of mine. Off the whole YouTube thing, I do talk to him. And he's a very great person and great human at heart. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been to his show before. I've gone there, chopped it up with him. Felt looker straight up. And today, he graces the Real Talk hot seat. Looker, you're welcome to the show. You're welcome to Tony Club Gunner
thank you
TV, my
very,
brother.
thank you very much for inviting me on the channel, man. Yeah, I'm not too bad, man. I'm not too bad outside of YouTube. I'm not too bad, but no, I thank you very much for inviting me on. And I think
Yeah.
it's the first time you've actually invited me on the channel, man.
Yeah. It's the first time, man. It's a long time coming, Luca. I've always been
Yeah,
keeping.
man.
There's always this thing we always say. We always keep the best for the, for the latter part. So you're one of the, you're one of those, you're one of those voices that Arsenal fans need to hear. People people think that understanding punditry is just a one-way street. It's not really like that. You have to sample from different opinions and get to understand what people really think about Arsenal, not just a one-way street. And sincerely, you really offer that, Luca. Okay, Luca is I think he's frozen. I think he's having little internet issues. He'll be logging back on again. But today's show it's going to be with Luca, and I think he would log in back. And today, of course, we'll be looking at that Brighton loss. Not that we'll be looking in depthly into it, but we'll be looking into that loss with Brighton and why Arsenal should be losing against Brighton, in the Carabao Cup. So Luke will be joining us in. Uh, okay, we have some fans here already. We have Ought to be, big ups to you, my brother. You're welcome to the show. And he says, let's go. Oh, Looker is coming
Big
back to
R.
the
I just
show.
said there'll be internet problems, man.
Yeah. Actually, Looker said that there will be internet problems,
I've
but
put
he's
my
back.
personal hotspot on, so I've put my personal hotspot on at the moment.
Okay.
So I'll put
Okay.
it
So,
on now.
so, so we won't have any of those laggings again, right?
Well, let's hope not.
Let's hope not, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Looker, you're welcome to the show, my brother.
Thank you very much for inviting me on, man.
Yeah. Just like I was saying, just before you cut off, I was saying that you're one of those voices of Arsenal punditry that people need to hear. People just think that punditry is a one-way street. It's not a one-way
Yeah,
street. You need to sample opinions from different people, sample what people understand about Arsenal. Like that's where you see. There's always something we call strength in diversity, and
yeah,
that's what punditry is all about. You listen here, you listen there, you gain info from here, you gain info from there. You put everything together and just sample them and create your own thoughts, like
yeah. Of course,
in
of
it.
course. Yeah, of course, 100%. And that's what I want to do. I want to give my expressions and just give my opinion, what I think about the football club. So that's why.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
but no,
Man, look, man, you're welcome to the show, man. It's a,
yeah.
it's a, it's, it's a big
Thank you
honor
very
to,
much.
it's a big honor to have you here. And of course,
Yeah.
guys, if you've not, subscribed to Luca, you just have to go to his channel. His channel is doing very well. How many left to 3K?
Quite a while, but 2.5K, about 15 subs.
Okay, it's cool, man. It's cool, man. You're growing strength to
Yeah,
strength.
yeah, a little
Yeah,
bit. Yeah,
a
yeah.
little bit, right? Okay. See, yeah. Let's really go into it. Of course, we have some people who have joined us already. Ought to be no other person than ought to be. Ought to be says let's go, and then we also have ought to be again. He says here, says we need to win this game and go WC on top of the league. Yeah, Otto B, shout out to you, my brother. We have to win this game. And Cheesy Tube, oh, my love, Cheesy Tube. Hello, Cheesy Tube. Thanks for joining us today. And she says, welcome, Luca. Um, yeah, that's cool. Cheesy, nice to see you. And Amy Baba says, hi, panel. Let's talk real about Arsenal. And that's it. And yeah, we also have Craig AFC. Shout out to you. Shout out to our member, Amy Baba is a Crest member. Big ups to you, my brother. See, look at without much ado, let's get into it.
Yeah, why not?
See,
Why not,
look at
man?
we lost that game in the Carabao Cup game against Brighton. What do you think about that loss? And first bash it all out. Give me the disadvantages, the negatives out there, and then if you can be able to find any positives in losing that match, please let me know.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me on. At first things first, what I want to ask. But no, what I thought about the Brighton game. Look, it's not the end of the world that we lost the game. Arteta made 10 changes. And
Hmm.
for me, yes, it is a little bit disappointing that we've lost a game. We're not used to losing games a little bit. We're like Arsenal. We like to win, 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 and that's what we want for our football club. We want to be number one. We want to be where we want to be. That's what the fans have come to pay their money for. But for me,
Sure.
it doesn't all work out for that. But no, getting onto the game, right? It was a poor performance. Brighton are our bogey side to us, right?
True.
They beat us
Fact.
last season at the Emirates. They beat us in previous seasons before under Emery and Ljungberg. We got a point at their place last season in that horrible weather. So for me, Brighton know how to play against us. And for me, look, it's not the end of the world because for
Would
me,
you
I
would you
do
say they
think,
have our number? Would you say they have our
yeah,
number?
I do. Look, Tony, look, I do think yes, they do have our number because they know how to play against us. Like for me, Brighton are a very good side and
Yeah.
they've got some decent players. When I looked compared to our team, I thought when I looked at the starting 11, I'm not going to really cuss about the 20-year-old goalkeeper because a lot of people feel like I'm actually going to start cussing the goalkeeper. But for me, people know what I'm like when I start cussing people like that. So for
Yeah.
me, I'm not gonna get into Hine, the goalkeeper, because I haven't seen him play. So for
Yeah.
me, I don't really watch under 21 football. So for
Yeah.
me, I should really do. But the trouble is, I do hear the results. But with Hen,
Hmm.
look, it is about look. He needs to forget about it, right? Yes, it is a bit disappointed that
Yeah.
yes, because his debut in the first team didn't go all to plan. We've seen people like this in the past,
Yeah.
but you think about it at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world losing this game because this
I
game, if
know.
we got to the fourth round of the Carabao Cup, we will be
Yeah.
playing 3 days after the World Cup final. And do
After the
you
World
really
Cup
want to do
final.
that where we've got like
Mm.
Tottenham and Manchester United in
Mm-mm.
January, right?
Uh-huh.
Because for me, like New Year's Eve, we've got
Yeah.
Brighton again, and I want to beat them so bad so we can get revenge
Yeah.
over them.
Yeah.
And we've got the likes of Tottenham, Manchester United coming up in after the new year. And for me, we've got very important feisty games coming up. And the two main priorities we should be going for is Europa League and the Prem. We are top of the
And the
league at the
Prem.
moment. We're
Yeah.
the second best team in the Premier League at the moment of going by football. Well, no, honestly, I do.
Okay.
No,
But
honestly, I do.
on paper we're the first. On
Yeah, we
paper
are.
we're the
Yeah,
first.
but
Yeah, we're
yeah,
top
but
of the
yeah,
league, you know?
yeah, but Tony, the thing is, when you say that we're first at the moment, overall, Man City are better than us. Yeah, that's why I'm still going psychological. I'm going by that we're the second best team. That's why I'm going for
Okay,
that.
okay. If you want to go with that sentiment, I
So
can
for
accept
me,
that.
the Brighton, getting back to the Brighton game, it's not the end of the world that we lost that game. Yeah, it would have been
Yeah.
nice to get through to the next round.
Yeah.
We're not very good, but we don't need this Cal. I think the Carabao Cup should be scrapped. Right? Not good as it used to be. No, honestly, I do because the reason why is because it's not a competition which Arsenal don't care. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I care
Yeah.
about the FA Cup. The FA Cup is the oldest FA Cup, the oldest trophy. What people
It's the
love the
oldest
FA
cup
Cup.
game
It is.
in
We've won the FA Cup
civilization now,
14
as we
times.
know it.
Look, Tony, look, hear me wrong, right? With Arsenal Football Club, right? You talk
Yeah.
about we've won 13 league titles, we've won 14 FA Cups. I loved the FA Cup. When we beat
Yeah.
Hull City in that 2014 FA Cup final,
Yeah.
that's when I started loving the FA Cup. And I
Yeah. That
loved
was a
the
beauty
FA
in
Cup.
it.
The Carabao Cup, forget it. Yeah? Yeah? We
Yeah.
only got to the semi-final and the final and all that because we had no European football.
Yeah.
Yeah, we only got to the semi-final
True.
because we had no European football, right? If we didn't have no European football, I'm telling you, Arteta, we would have won that game if we would have put our first team. But for
Yeah.
me,
Sure.
we're top of the league at the moment. Yeah. Yes, getting on to performances, right? Yes, the last few games we've had a few on and off performances. The Chelsea game, we were brilliant in that game. I've never
Oh my
seen a
God.
team like Chelsea, right, that looked completely lost, completely washed in
You
that
have to
game.
admit it. You have to admit it. They were
You have
lost
to.
there.
Yeah, because think about it, right? We dominated that game, right?
Yeah.
And on the first half, yes, I do think we should have been a little bit clinical on chances, right?
Yeah.
Second half, we bossed Chelsea, right? Chelsea looked completely lost. Aubameyang, personal nothing, yeah? As whatever
Yeah.
the word, what people phrase it, right? Aubameyang was woeful, right? Right? Jesus was good. Yes, he's not scored in 9 games, which I'm getting a little bit concerned. But if you take his goals out of the way, Jesus is a good signing. His work rate is very good. That chance where Odegaard should have scored to make it 2-0 at
Yeah.
Stamford Bridge
Yeah.
last,
Yeah.
the way
Yeah.
Jesus
Sure.
was taking on 3 Chelsea
Was
players.
taking on 3
That's
players.
something what I like about Jesus.
But again, you've just come into into an intersect that is actually dividing Arsenal fans right now, and I'm serious, Luca, because many
Yeah.
people are already getting into fisticuffs because of Gabriel Jesus and his
Yeah.
contributions to the team.
Yeah.
And thank God you just brought that up. Right now. See, are you satisfied with Gabriel Jesus creating for this team? His hold up play, he running the channels, being that first man to be our first defender, which is defending from the from the front, as we know it, and he's doing a good job. Yes, he's lacking in the output in terms of the goals. And the goal margin is not by his, it's not on its side, which is typical of most of Arteta's tactics, or with the strikers as we know it. It demands a lot from them, go create chances, create avenues where other people and other wide forwards or midfielders can come in and take shots. Are you really where do you stand with this Gabriel Jesus
The thing
debacle
with
right
Gabriel
now?
Jesus, is, look, I like Gabriel Jesus. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a great signing for Arsenal. I was
Yeah.
buzzing that we got him for £45 billion, cheap bargain. I thought Manchester City were going to ask double more amount. The thing with Jesus, which kind of frustrates me, is that, look, as I told you earlier in that Chelsea game, his work rate is fantastic. He can create everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
he never
Yeah.
gives up. He's a fighter, right?
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
what Arsenal need. That's why we Manchester City sold the likes of Zinchenko, Jesus. Manchester City fans were telling me that they were gutted that some of them were gutted that they got rid of Gabriel Jesus, because he would have been a very fantastic backup to Erling Haaland. And for me, Jesus, you remember that game against Real Madrid last season? Was it
Yeah.
Real Madrid? I can't remember. I don't know what team it was, but no, it wasn't Real Madrid. But
Not Real Madrid.
what game
Are
was
you
it
talking
when
of
Jesus?
Arsenal?
No, it was in the Champions League, and Jesus
Okay.
scored a couple of goals in the Champions League.
Oh, it's in the Champions League, actually.
I can't remember what game, but it was
It was
wasn't.
against Real Madrid because he scores in big games.
Yeah. So Jesus, for me, he was supposed to come in and score 20 goals, right? This season
Yeah.
he hasn't reached 10 goals this season.
Yeah.
Gabriel Jesus, when he first came, look, I'll bring you back, right, when he first came into the club, right? Jesus was sharp, ready for pre-season. He was killing it. That game against Chelsea in pre-season when we beat them 4-0, right?
Yeah.
He was brilliant in that game. And for me, he scored against the likes of Leicester, Bournemouth, all them lot.
yeah,
Jesus started for me, right, to be a really great player. And for me, I think he's a good player, but I just think when you look at his stats, it's not that great. Yeah, he's okay with assists. He's good with assists,
yeah.
but he needs to start scoring goals. So for me, like, I'm hoping the weekend against Wolves could actually benefit me, help him go into the World Cup. Because for me, like, yes, am I surprised that Brazil have called him up for the World Cup? No. But some people might have that individual divide, thinking that Brazil might thinking
Yeah.
that people might not think that that they are surprised because of his goals. But his work rate, when you take goals out of the
His
equation,
work
right,
rate is
his work
completely
rate is
out of this
fantastic. He
world.
reminds me of Alexis Sanchez a little bit,
Yeah,
a
yeah, you can
little bit.
compare him
You
a
can
little bit, but
a
I
little bit.
think Sanchez was a little bit more
He was
active than
more
him
active
anyway.
and he
Yeah,
was doing everything Sanchez at Arsenal.
and he was
So
scoring
he
goals.
was
Yeah,
at a prime Alexis. But
I
I
think
think
after he left, those goals dried up, right?
but what do you think with Gabriel Jesus? What do you think he needs to work on? Because
Hey, see, you know what? We actually wanted him to be the main man. He was brought in to score goals, and that's
yeah,
what we deserve. Score goals. Uh, but again, I'm this kind of person that attach goals with assists. If you're not at the back end of scoring those goals, make sure you're giving the assists for that goal.
you have to. Look, you
Yeah,
have to.
exactly. So right now, for me, the fact that he's not scoring goals hasn't really struck a nerve yet because he's churning out those assists. Mind you, I think in the game before this Chelsea game, who did we play with? Nottingham Forest. He
Nottingham
churned
Forest.
out up to 3 assists just in one game. So
But he didn't
that's
score against Forest, which, like, not to disrespect Nottingham Forest. I know a lot of people have said
Yeah,
to me
no,
that
but he was running the channels. He was running
yeah,
down those channels. It was lots of hold up play, lots of running and cutting in from the left. See, that's the kind of player he is. And that's why even in the Brazilian squad, he's not even as their point man. Of course, they have more deadly strikers like Nima, who would be headlining the Brazilian team. But mind you, he plays just like at the wings where Richarlison comes in from. So they could actually use him interchangeably
no,
with
I
with
understand
with
that,
Charlison.
but I just think with look, Jesus is probably not going to be a starter for Brazil. You ain't getting ahead of Neymar, Richarlison, all these players, right? Roberto
Sure.
Firmino, I was very surprised that he was not called up. I thought he would have been called up. He was actually on good form for Liverpool until he kind of dipped down a little bit. Maybe that's where I do think maybe Brazil thought, well, you know what, don't call someone like that. You ain't getting
Yeah.
ahead of Neymar and Richarlison. But I think with Gabriel Jesus,
Hmm.
Brazil called him up because the way he works rate and his assists. So look, I hope whether Jesus does score tomorrow in our final Premier League game before going into the World Cup,
Yeah.
I want to see Jesus performing for Brazil. Yeah,
Yeah.
all guns, man, all guns, man. We love all our players to come home early.
True.
That'd be great.
True.
But for
True.
me, with Jesus, I want to see him starting performing and start scoring goals. Okay, it's all great that he's doing all these work rate. It's all great that yes, he's helping the team and we're getting
Yeah.
performances and what I'm liking to see in the league. But I would like him to score goals. That's what he's come in for, also, not just to
Yeah,
obviously
that's
do
what it's
work
coming
rate.
for. Yeah, exactly. But again, I'll repeat this again. The alarm bells hasn't started ringing yet for me because he's posting those assists. He's doing, those run-ins, those running off the channels, hold up play, creating chances, creating
Yeah,
assists. He's doing all that, stuff. So the alarm bells, hasn't started ringing. And mind you, Nunes, who came in for Liverpool and heralded as one of the most deadliest strikers in Europe, is right now in Liverpool, just has 6 goals in the league.
yeah,
And yeah, just six, just six. And
it's
Gabriel
crazy.
Jesus, exactly. And Gabriel Jesus has 5. I'm not saying that's a killer number. I'm just saying that I recognize what he brings to the team. So I'll give him a couple of games and see what he churns out. And mind you, just one day, he might just score a quadruple of goals, and it will just end all this talk about him not getting a goal or having a goal drought.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for some reason. But see, was there any positives in that Brighton game? Eddie Nketiah scored a wonderful goal. Did you see that
Look, for
goal?
me, there's not really any positives in that game.
Okay.
Yes, Nketiah scored a really good goal. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not his biggest fan, and I don't
Yeah.
even like Eddie Nketiah. But for me, what he's doing well when he scores goals like that, I will praise him. And for me, we had chances in that game to kill the game.
To
Don't get me
kill the
wrong.
game, right?
Nobody couldn't watch the game.
I did
Right?
not watch the game,
Mate,
so I
nobody
didn't
couldn't even
even know
watch
what
it. I
happened.
caught a little bit of highlights. I caught highlights, and they only showed 2-minute highlights on YouTube. Right? AFTV was saying it. Lee Gunner was saying it. Lee Gunner read my comment out on Wednesday,
Yeah.
and for me, right, literally, like what I heard is that we had chances to win. Like we had chances in the game. Like Sammy Lokonga for me had a chance. Nketiah hit the
Oh,
post as well.
Sambi.
And don't get me started with Lokonga,
Oh my
but for
God.
me, like I'll get onto that in just a sec. But with Nketiah, right, look, he scored a good goal. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but we gave the penalty away. Not going to really get into the 20-year-old goalkeeper because it's his first game. If he played a lot of games with us, then I'll get
Yeah.
into him. But however, I'm not gonna slate this 20-year-old. It's not. He will just look at it and think, you know what, I made a mistake. Some players might feel like, and look, you know what? Okay, it's not the end of the world. We chin
Yeah.
up. We go again.
Go
But
again.
the thing with Sammy Lokonga is,
Yeah.
right, I said this on my channel multiple times this year when I make videos when I can. Lokonga is, I like Lokonga, but the trouble is he needs a season on loan. And if he really wants to actually have a great future for Arsenal, now's the
Yeah.
time in January to send him out on loan. It's no good
True.
Arteta keeping him for squad depth, because for me, the more time you actually leave him at this club, the more time people are going to start thinking, does this guy really need a loan? Are we
True.
wasting our time with another loan? Now's the time to
Yeah.
send him out on loan, Tony Claude. Because if we don't send him out on loan, the thing is with Sammy Lokonga is you're going to waste your time here. I'm going to be like, you know what? Why am I wasting my time here if I
He
can't
needs
get a
to
loan?
develop. He's
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 got to
not good
develop. And I
enough.
like
He's
the
not
thing
good
is
enough.
coming.
I like the bloke, but he's not good enough right now. He needs to gain more experience. Some people are saying sell him outrightly, but I would just say let's just send him out on loan and let him go improve. Look at Nunes. Look at Nuno Tavares. Look at he's improving,
Yeah,
and
he is.
Real Madrid and Barcelona
I'm
actually
not a
won
big
the
fan. I'm not a big fan of Nuno Tavares, but well done to him that he's actually proving
in
very
France
well.
in
And
Marseille.
for me, I wouldn't want Nuno Tavares back. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Because for me, I don't think he won't look. Well done, he's actually improving. People could say that with me with Saliba. I didn't think
Yeah,
that Saliba wasn't going to come back. Right, I thought that was the end of him. Right, he played one
yeah,
game in a preseason friendly. Right, against
yeah.
Milton Keynes, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
for me, I thought that was the end of it. That was an Unai Emery signing. But Saliba is different compared to Tavares, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Hmm.
Saliba,
In a
right,
way. Hmm.
is potentially a world-class player, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Tavares is doing very well. I think Tavares needs to stay in those type of leagues. I don't think look, I'm not cussing or anything like that with Tavares. I'm happy that
Yeah.
he's doing very well in Marseille,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And I know they're out the Champions League. They
Yeah.
couldn't beat Tottenham the other week. But however, I think Tavares, the Premier League, is not quite ready for him. Okay,
He's not. Yeah.
and
He's
I
not
just
quite ready.
think
But
I
anyway,
honestly,
isn't it why there's this loan moves to improve these
well, it
players?
is. Of
Uh,
course, it is. Like
yeah.
look
Improve
at
your
Reece
fitness.
Nelson.
Go prove
Like
yourself out there.
Reece Nelson for me the other day was the only player that actually was trying the other day, right?
Yeah.
What I heard by people, what people psychologically right effect is with Reece Nelson, right? He scored 2 goals against Nottingham Forest, and if you take those
Yeah.
2 goals out of the way, we were still going to win the game. But still, there were 2 important goals
Just
up
before,
goal.
just before, just before we go into this Wolves roundup and this Wolves preview,
Yeah,
um, there was this. There was this. there was this issue I was discussing with Arsenal fans, and it was about Reece Nelson. It's
Yeah,
getting into the last year of his
yeah,
contract.
yeah.
Should Arsenal? He scored 2 goals against Nottingham Forest. Is this enough basis for Arsenal to say, "Hey, son, come take a contract for
For me, with
yourself"?
this is a very good question to say, man, because psychological effect. What I'm saying is on Reece Nelson is he's going to look at that and thinking, right, okay, look, he's never going to get into an England squad. We all know that. Okay, he might
Facts,
have
of
potential to
course,
be. He might have potential to be an under 21 squad, or we might. I don't know how old is
but
Reece
he's
Nelson.
still young, innit?
Yeah.
He's still
So
young,
so,
man.
but
He's
he's
still
still young.
young.
So
He has
for me,
time.
he's never going to get into a country for his national
Yeah,
team. Yeah.
true.
So for me, he knows that deep down, right? Whether he does or not,
Yeah,
and he might believe that. The thing with Reece Nelson is that look, he's not guaranteed to get every single game because Saka's there, Martinelli's there, Smith Rowe to come
yeah,
back from injury, and that. I think with Reece Nelson, look, we saw it in the Nottingham Forest game when we battered them 5-0 a couple of weeks ago that
yeah.
he had a point to prove. He proved it wrong, right? And
Hmm.
like he's a forgotten man. Yeah, I do think he does deserve a chance. I do think he does. Look. For me, I wasn't his biggest fan because the guy
Hmm.
wasn't because I didn't think the guy wasn't good enough to play for the club. Right? He's been with us for what since the academy, right?
Hmm.
And for me, like he made his debut like pretty much I think it was like 2017.
Hmm. Hmm.
So he's been around for a long time, good few years. So if Reece Nelson does keep up these little performances and makes the odd game that there, then yeah, give him a
Hmm.
contract. Give him a contract. But if he doesn't get it, right, he's
Yeah.
22 now, as I said, right? So he could just about squeeze through the under 21s. So I think with Reece Nelson, if he's not going to get a lot of game time, maybe it is probably best to bin him and get rid of him in January. Or maybe he
Yeah.
can go out on loan for another loan deal to get some more minutes to have a point to prove. Because at Feyenoord, don't forget, he got into a European final in the Conference League, and that Conference League is
True.
still a European competition, right?
True.
It's not an
True.
exciting competition, but
True.
however, he got to a European final, right? Didn't win it, but however,
He got there, right?
Nelson got there, and that's the main thing. So
That's the main thing.
I think with Reece Nelson, yes, I know it was only against Nottingham Forest. I'm not bantering Nottingham Forest fans if anyone's there, but I think with Reece Nelson, look, why not give him a contract? But for me, if he's not going to get a lot of game time, I can understand Tony Claude. Probably best if you get rid of him and maybe send him to another
Yeah.
Prem. Or
See, man. See, you know why I'm very careful about getting into this kind of conversations. This
yeah,
is the reason why. I've been a proponent of giving these players deals in order to stop the rot. The rot I'm talking about is that we cannot get any amount of money from our players. Bellerin went on a free, negotiated with the club and left on a free. Aubameyang left the club for whatever reason. I
when
don't
you
care.
say that, when you
And
say
and
that,
left the club and we get no nickel for for these
I was just
players.
about to say that, yeah.
Our
But
record,
when you
even
say
our
that,
record
right,
signing,
with
even our
Bellerin,
record
and
signing, Nicolas Pepe. Can you believe it, Luca? Arsenal Football Club as a
we're going to
club.
get him on a free.
We,
Arsenal Football Club,
oh my
yeah,
God, we
72
can't even
million
get
pounds for
15
Nicolas
million
Pepe.
pounds.
And
We
yeah,
can't
we
get
can't. And this
15
guy's going
million
to go on a
pounds
free.
for Nicolai Pepe. Our record signing. Look, I'll spell it out for you again.
This
Arsenal's record
guy Pepe.
signing.
No, yeah, yeah.
We can't get 15
This,
million pounds for him. It's a struggle to even get 10 million pounds for that guy. So, personally, I was a proponent of giving Nketiah a contract because I wanted to see all those rots stop so that at least if we give him, let's say,
yeah, but
a
when you
4 year
say that,
contract, at least maybe someone like West
but
Ham will
when
have
you say
injuries
that,
to all their
yeah,
strikers. And then they will say, okay, Arsenal, please, we need an Nketiah. And they say, okay, good, we can sell him to you, 20 million pounds, and just get something for the club. All these players living on a free,
yeah.
it's like, and see, yeah, and when Arsenal fans are demanding for signings, this is the problem because we cannot reconcile our books with this FFP rules, dragging down our necks and choking us, and we cannot be able to get more signings. These are the problems because your your outgoings and your incomes, like it doesn't tally in any way. So this is the problem. So when I look at this Nelson stuff, one part of me says give him a deal and sell him out in the next year or something like that. But again, how can you give a player who have just scored 2 goals in a season for
Yeah,
you?
but Tony Claude, when you say that, look, this is what really baffles me, and I 100% agree with you, right? Is that when we let Aubameyang go on a free,
Yeah.
I'll show you an example. When we got rid of Aubameyang on a free, look, Arteta did the right thing to get rid of Aubameyang. Don't get me
People
wrong.
now know. People now know it's at Chelsea Football Club. People now
Yeah,
know.
of course. And Aubameyang never turned up against us. But for me, the only issue I had with letting these players going on a free is that we never got money. Look, for example, look what Liverpool did, right? Liverpool got rid of
Hmm.
Dominic Solanke for ridiculous
Hmm.
money. They got rid of their dead wood and managed to be
True.
able to sell their players for a
True.
high value. We
Guys in
don't
the
do
chat,
that.
please chime in into this discussion. I want to see your charts on this. Mind you, we have Luca down here discussing this thing. This is very important to our football club.
It is because the thing with
Please chat
Pepe,
about it
Touch
in the
TV
charts
said,
down there, please.
One Touch TV just made a very good point. He said, because Pepe isn't a whack bro, we can't get 50 million, 20 million for Eddie in the summer. See, this is the thing, right? Aubameyang for me was obviously a free. That's understandable. Like if you were going to get him for money, a Saudi Arabian
Shout
team,
out to One Touch
a
TV.
Saudi
Shout out.
Arabian team
I'm
were
I'm
asking
sorry.
for 20 million.
I'm sorry, Luca. Let me just read out some of
Okay,
this because
okay,
there are big hitters here, man.
that's fine, man.
Niall Kane, man. Big ups to you, Niall Kane. Big ups to you, One Touch
Yeah, that's
TV,
fine, man.
our partners down there from Niger Englishman. Big ups to you, my brother. God bless you. God bless your hustle,
That's
my friend.
fine,
And
man.
he says here, because Pepe is whack, bro.
But when you,
We can get 15
but
million
when you,
for Eddie in the summer when we bring in Balogun back. I
yeah,
totally
of course,
agree. I
yeah,
totally
of course,
agree. Shout out Fear of
yeah,
Black
of
London.
course, yeah,
Shout out Chelsea OG.
yeah, of course,
Is our silver
yeah,
member of this channel. Now Kane, Craig,
yeah.
AFC, Fear of Black London, the other time podcast. Thank you guys. Man, guys, just chime into the charts. Yeah, you were saying something, Luca.
Yeah, sorry, man, to interrupt. But no, as I
No,
was
it's no
saying, the
problem.
thing is, right, One Touch TV makes a very, very good point. The thing
It's a
is,
good
right,
point.
with Pepe, right, your
Mhm.
record signing, £72 million player you're paying under
Jesus
Unai
Christ.
Emery, right? And you're not going to get nothing. You're going to get whacked for it. And for
Not a
me, it's
nickel.
like,
Not a nickel.
yeah, it's crazy.
It doesn't anger
Like
some
to me,
people,
why
right?
can't you just not get rid of? Why can't you just not get rid of him now? And just be able to be able to get 15, 20 million for him. That's what I don't understand. And for me, like with Bellerin for me is quite young. Like you could have got at least 10, 15 mil for him, right? Maitland-Niles is out on loan, right? And this guy probably doesn't want to come back. Now's the best time to get rid of him in January, right?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
even know if he's getting any game time at Southampton. And for me, Maitland-Niles, you get rid of him at least minimum 20 mil.
Bro, it's an English. See, other teams have England
They do.
internationals
They do.
that they would,
Yeah.
that when they're bringing them into the club, they pay crazy amount of money. But for some reason, I don't
But
know.
when
When it
people
comes
say
to
that we are
Arsenal,
improving as a
this,
but when people are saying that we're improving as a football club, right? Okay, if people saying that we're improving as a football club, oh, we're top of the league, we're doing all this, and it's very good at the moment. Okay, if you're saying that, right, stop letting players going on a free. That's something where another thing we need to actually improve,
well,
right?
improvement on the pitch is
Okay,
it's a
okay.
different thing.
It's good that
I
compared
can
to
really
last season,
understand
the
that.
mentality is different now. The mentality is different
Yeah,
now, right? And that's
yeah.
what we like to see. But when it comes to contract wise, Lacazette was on a free, right? Right. Nketiah was on a free, right? Right. The guy signs a new deal. I don't know why he signed a new deal. Mesut
Yeah.
Ozil as well, right? Prime
Hmm.
Mesut Ozil. When we first signed him, he was a world class player at the time, and then suddenly,
Yeah.
look, Arteta done the right
Just
thing to
dropped
manage to
off.
get rid. Look, Arteta. Look, positive I say about Arteta is he managed to get rid of the likes of Ozil, Mustafi, Kolasinac, Socrates, Liechtensteiner, Suarez,
Hmm.
all these
Hmm.
all these players, right?
Yeah.
That's good that he managed to get rid of these type of players. But you're letting them go on a free. And that's something where the board have got to look at it. Arteta's got to start looking at thinking, okay, if you don't want Pepe part of your plans,
Let's
right?
leave Arteta
Get
out of all
rid of
these.
him
It's not
now.
Arteta. Arteta is not the recruiter. He's
No,
not the
he's not.
recruiter of
Look, look,
players.
look, I
Neither
know
is he the
Arteta's not
admin
that.
that
I
lets
know he's
players
not the
go.
recruiter, but
It
Arteta
has
still
nothing
got
to
to
do with
actually go to
Arteta.
the
It
recruiter
has
and actually
everything to
say
do
that.
with the board, with the club, with Edu. You know,
Yeah, and that's why
it's
Eddie's
their
got to do
job.
it. Yeah, and that's something where, like, even if Arsenal do win a trophy this season, that's great. But I mean, if we get second this season, that's a fantastic season. If we get second and win a trophy on top of that. But the thing is, in the summer, right, if we're still going to have the likes of Pepe coming back on loan, right, Maitland-Niles coming back out on loan, seldom value for January. Start
Yeah,
getting rid of them in January.
because Nicola
Pepe,
Pepe is for some reason is scoring goals in Nice
yeah,
right now. He's scoring goals in Nice. This is the time to actually start See, man, that's why I like board members and sporting directors that are very, very active.
so that's
This
the
is the
thing.
time when Nicola Pepe is scoring goals in Nice. Right now is the time. Go and open contract negotiations with those guys
We
on how
have
you
to.
can sell him
See,
off
this
the
is the
club.
thing. This is the thing, and that
And
is
let's
what you've
bring
got
in
to do.
Modric.
If we want to bring players like Mudrick, Dinilio, Tillemans, whoever we linked, right? Link SC, right? We linked with everyone, right? But however, no, it's true. But however, if we want to get rid of people like Pepe and Maitland-Niles, Maitland-Niles, you can get 20 million quid. Pepe,
Yeah,
you
it's
probably
England
Pepe.
international.
Yeah,
They,
he is English
they
tax.
have to be getting
Pepe,
this type of money
you
from
have
these
to. And if
players.
you look at like Tony Claude, right? Pepe as
Yeah,
well, 15, 20 mil. Just sell him for 15, 20 mil. We know us fans know, right? And if the club actually feel like they want to get more, then go and sell him now. Why are you waiting until
yeah.
the summer of letting this guy go in on a free? And that's what I'm really worried about this football club.
Uh,
Okay. And that is something
That's
where
the
we've got
problem,
to
man.
learn. Okay,
That's the
look at Eddie
problem. Yeah.
Nketiah. Nketiah got given $100,000 a
And we're
week,
not saying
right?
this to
The guy
slag off the
can't
club
even.
or
And
anything. This is
these
constructive criticism. We need this a little bit,
these
you
are these
know.
little individuals that we have to improve. When
Yeah.
it's these little individuals we have to start cutting out. We've done this over the years, right? We used to remember, right, under Arsene Wenger, we used to become a selling club, right? And now we've managed, right, to
Mhm.
actually keep players and signing on a new deal. I do think Saliba will sign a new deal when we get Champions League
Yeah,
football.
of
Martinelli
course.
wants to sign a new deal, right? But the only issue is when we've said over the years, whereas how much we have proved as a football club now compared to like a
Hmm.
few years ago under the Wenger regime, Unai Emery, we were questioning Arteta, and now
Yeah,
this season the mentality has changed. These
yeah,
little bits, Tony Claude, right? We need to improve on. Like when we got rid of the likes of Robbie van Persie, Fabregas, all them lot, we started becoming a selling club. Then the Mustafis, the Ozils, and Socrates. That's when Arteta came in and said, you know what? I don't want these players a part of my club. I want my own team. We've got a new team now, right? We're the second best team in the league, right? But however, right, these little individuals where we need to start cutting out, and we've done it over the years, right, is stop letting these players run down their contracts and let them go on the free. If we can
yeah.
cut that out, then we'll be fine. And then
Yeah,
we'll
just
be
look at
fine.
City. That's how to run a successful
It
football
is.
club. These
That's how
guys
you
are
run a
getting money
developed
for
modern
players that
state
they're
football
throwing out
club.
of the club. Anyhow, in any way, they sold Gabriel Jesus to us for 45 million quid. You know,
Yeah.
and only God knows
Niall
what's in that
Saliba was signed
contract.
under Emery. Yeah. No, I was just reading
Only God
Niall's
knows
comment.
what's in that contract, how
Yeah.
much we still have
Yeah.
to give them for trophies, top four qualifications. All those things are in modern day contracts. So, of course, they'll be getting lots of money for that. We don't know what was in Zichenko's contract also.
No, we
All
don't. We
these
don't.
things shows that Manchester City is a club that's run from top to bottom in a very
Because Man
efficient manner.
City are ambitious. They've got
I
Saudi
want
Arabia.
Arsenal to do that and also bring in signings.
No, I'm
Out
not
of
Stan
all
Kroenke's biggest fan, right? Look, I'm not Stan Kroenke's biggest fan,
But
right?
again, we can't
But the
keep
thing is, he's
we
backing
can't keep
Arteta at the
criticizing
moment.
Kroenke because he's put up cash right now.
Yeah, and
He's
that's
put up
what
the
that's
cash
what
right
that's
now.
what. Yeah, but Tony, when you look at that, right? Look, I'm not Kroenke's biggest fan, right? And I never will be his fan. But however,
Yeah,
right, he's actually started to back Mikel Arteta now. And in January, he come out in the meeting and said, right,
yeah,
that he's going to back him. Whether you give him 50, 70, 100 mil, at least it's money at the end of the
true,
day. You go and get a
true.
couple of additions that if we're in a title race, if we're
Yeah.
top of the league by tomorrow night, right,
Mm-hmm.
going into the
Mm-hmm.
World Cup, Boxing Day
Mm-hmm.
when we come back and play West Ham and Brighton, and if we're
Yeah.
top of the league in January when we play Tottenham and Manchester United back to back,
Yeah.
Go and get those couple of additions. Start planning during the World Cup. Arteta said he was going to organise a couple of pre-season friendlies, right, in Dubai during the World Cup. That players are not going to the World Cup. Get those players ready. The players who are not going to the World Cup, get them ready, right? Like the Cedrics, the Odegaards and that. Get them, right, going to the World Cup, right? Whether we're going to have a friendly behind closed doors or in Dubai or whatever the rumours are, get them ready and get the other players coming back from the World Cup, whether they're hopefully, fingers crossed, that they're not injured, add a couple of additions, we could challenge for the league.
We could challenge. Okay, in all those names, just before we go into this Wolves game, in all those names that have been thrown out there for Arsenal, mind you, I don't know, the club did not come out, but rumors was swirling that in the Emirates that Mikel Arteta will be boosted in the transfer window with 50 million quid. A week after that report came true, news filtered through that about 70 million quid is the one in the papers right now. It's an ever-changing story with Arsenal. Exactly. It's an ever-changing story when it comes to transfer news.
I wouldn't be surprised if we don't bring anyone in January. Look, Tony Claude.
Sometimes they say we have a war chest. A war chest.
It's just rumors. You can't believe any of that.
Okay, but again, the Kroenkes have already come out again this past week, and they said that we are going to back Arteta massively in this January transfer window.
Go and prove it, Tony Claude. Like the Kroenkes have to back Mikel Arteta. Like I said to you earlier, if we're top of the league by January,
we need to win the trophy.
If we're top of the league by January, right? Yeah. We've been in this position before, right? And I'm not getting too carried away, right? We can still finish outside the top 4, right? But I do think we will get Champions League football. I really do. But however, right?
But you need to be more positive about the team, Luca, man. We're doing something right.
I take it. Look, I get that. But for me, what I want to see from this manager is he's got to take it. If we're top of the league by January, February, the transfer market in January has to prove it to me. If he gets a couple of
sure.
Whether they're not world class or not. Players are we going to improve the team that are actually going to play for the band? Whether they're not world class, right? Yeah. Whether you bring a Mudryk, look, I'm not Mudryk's biggest fan, but still, you're bringing a player in, right? Whether you bring Tielemans in, which I'm looking at the rumors that he's going to.
I'm not a big fan of Tielemans. Let's go get Mudryk.
Get these type of players in, the Cody Gappos or Sahar or players like that. I do think yes.
I think Luca will have to log in back. Oh, Luca, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you were saying something. Your internet was lagging, actually. Hello, Luca. No. Are you there with us?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah,
That's good. Yeah. But I'm not Mudryk's biggest fan. And for me, Stephen might be watching this, and I've said this to Stephen off air, right, on phone calls and that. Like, he said to me, you can't really judge a player, right, where you've not seen him play. Look, I get that, and he's right. But over the years, we've had players like that. He's quite young. And for me, last season, right, top 4 cost us because of lack of experience, right? Why don't we get someone like Wilfried Zaha? Right. Okay. A lot of people might say
an experienced head, right? I've been clamoring for this guy, you know.
But he's experienced. He's experienced. Whether it's a short-term deal, get him in. Go and get Cody Gakpo.
We just need him for 2 years. See, even if those type of signings you just signed for even 1 year, you don't care. Come win us a title, then you can go. We need those kind of signings right now. Yeah. We need machinery.
Tielemans for me is a player who I'll take in January. Tielemans for me in January. Tielemans, look,
I'm not really into Tielemans. I'm sorry.
Right?
Yeah, I'm not really into Tielemans. I prefer Savage, the Milinkovic-Savic in that role. He's more box to box. He can also double as a central defensive midfielder.
He's done well recently. Look, okay, yes, he's not obviously. What's the word? I don't know what the word is, but for me, he's not like a world class player. I don't know how to put it in phrase, but for me, Tielemans for me actually wouldn't be a bad signing because he's got Premier League experience. Yes, we're probably going to get him on a free in the summer. The guy wanted to come to Arsenal. Is that Arteta didn't really look into him for this summer? I mean,
I just feel like we have people like him in the team who can even do better than
look, we
him in the
do.
team.
Yes, we do.
We do have a Smith Rowe who will be coming back January, and if you have such a
Yeah,
similar player and he plays
but
somehow
that's
like
why you need
Odegaard,
squad
I
depth.
want
That's why you
something
need
different.
look.
I need
Look, I like
dynamism in
Odegaard.
that team.
I like Odegaard, and I understand by your dynamism and that. But Odegaard sometimes goes missing in passing. He's a passenger sometimes in big
True,
games,
totally
right?
understand that. But
Like I
again,
thought
Tillemans
Chelsea.
is still the same thing.
I thought Chelsea. Yeah.
Tillemans is
Well,
still
he
the
is,
same thing.
but for me, he
It
can
doesn't
score really
offer
good.
us
He can
anything
score long
big.
range goals. No, look, okay, he might not offer big, but for me, like, who else can
I
you
don't know
really
what
get
people see in
realistically in
Tillemans
January?
that makes him so
Like, I
so
don't
super
like
amazing.
like
Or
we're
we
after
have a Smith Rowe who can
we're
do
after
better.
yeah, but we're after Danilo from Brazil. Like, I don't know
Yeah,
who this is.
I'm hearing about people
Is he
like
the
that.
answer? Is he the answer when people? Yeah, okay. I know you can't really judge a player if you've not watched him play. I get that,
Yeah, sure,
but we've
sure.
had players. What we're not realizing is when
Hmm.
people ask me and says, "Luca, you cannot judge a player by that," or started criticizing. But at the same time, when you say that, we've had players like that over the years, and it's not worked out. That's what people are
I know, but
short
look at
memory of
Manchester City.
forgetting.
Look at Alvarez. Alvarez just came into that team and he's scoring goals.
Well, yeah, exactly. And for me, like we need players that are going to come in that have got experience that are obviously going to actually make us like if we're in a title challenge by
Yeah,
during the transfer window. Look, if we beat Wolves tomorrow, we're top of the league for Christmas. That's fantastic. We can enjoy our Christmas day. But
sure.
but but although when we get to January and February, when the
Hmm.
transfer market begins, that's
Hmm.
where I'm going to start questioning the board and Mikel Arteta. And for me, the Conkeys are now backed Arteta, right? And we get
Hmm.
rumours every single day that players are linked. We're hearing Mudrooks,
Yeah.
Danilios, Tillemans. Fair enough. Get a few additions in January, right? Arteta's got to take me to a title challenge. Okay? If we're top of
Okay.
the league by Christmas,
Hmm.
my standards are right now is I want us to go and win that title. Okay.
True.
I don't
True.
think we'll win the league. I don't think we'll win the league. I think we'll get second this season, right? But
Understandable.
I don't think we'll beat Manchester City to the league because Haaland is quality, all that stuff. But if we need in January. Let's
Hmm.
be there around Man City. Whether people
Yeah.
don't think that we're not going to win the league, but we've got to be around Man City.
But at
If
least
we're
be
in a
around
title,
the conversation, right?
look, that's the thing. If Arteta gets us into a title challenge,
Hmm.
right, by
Hmm.
late February, March, April, and goes right down to the last 5 or 6 games of the season and gets us
Hmm.
within like between 3 or 6 points, I'll be Arteta in. I'll be like, you know what? Bloody hell, cool. I
Yeah.
expected us to finish 5th at the start of the season, way back
Hmm.
in the summer, right?
Yeah.
And Arsenal have had a crazy good start to the season,
Hmm.
and that's it. So
Yeah, facts, man. Facts, man. And now Kane here says, would you guys take Danilo and Yori
I'm just going
Tillemans
what I'm saying
on a?
and what my
Yeah,
opinion is. But
I totally
for me to be
understand you, man.
Arteta in, he's got to take us to a title challenge, and that's my standard.
Yeah,
Stephen
yeah.
told me
Of
this.
course,
I
he
said
has to
this.
produce the goods this season. For me,
Yeah,
Mikel
if he gets a
Arteta.
second if he gets this, I'll say this final thing before you speak. If he
Yeah.
gets a second this season,
Mm-hmm.
wins the trophy,
Mm-hmm.
or even if he doesn't win a trophy, but gets his
Mm-hmm.
second and
Mm-hmm.
gets and be's like 5, say like 10, 15 points off Man City or a bit less than that, right?
Mm-hmm.
With 5 or 6 games to go, gets the second place. We're in that mix. I'll be Arteta in. But we don't
See,
know what's going to happen in the second half of the
yeah,
season.
yeah,
Nobody
yeah.
doesn't know. And that's where we're going to judge
Man,
January in the
I'm
window.
backing this manager. I do think this manager is going to win a trophy this season and a big trophy
Yeah.
this season. But you know what? This is what will count to me as a failure this season. If he doesn't win, I'm not up for top 4. I don't want top 4. If Mikel Arteta doesn't win if he doesn't win the league, the season, because this is the limit I gave Mikel Arteta. For
It's the
me
best chance in
personally,
years before
it's
Newcastle
the
come
best
in.
chance in years to
And
win
we've
the
had
league.
this, yeah, but we've had this
There is no
situation before. We did it
excuse.
with Leicester.
There is no
Chelsea finished
excuse.
10th.
He
Look,
has to
Chelsea
win the
finished
league and
exactly.
deliver it on
Chelsea
a
finished
platter.
10th. Chelsea finished 10th, right? That season,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
We were the only team that beat Leicester, right? If any Leicester fans are listening to this, right? Leicester till I die, whoever you're watching, right? Brad or whatever. Leicester won the league because we were the only team that beat Leicester that season because we didn't
Yeah.
sign an outfield player. We only
Mhm.
signed Petr, right?
Yeah.
That was on the verge of retirement.
Mhm,
So if we would have
mhm,
bought the squad what we had now, right? What we've got
mhm.
right now, if we would have added that in the 2015-16, we would have won the league by a country mile.
Yeah,
We would
sure.
have done. We would have done. It makes sense because for me, like we've had these little mistakes before. Remember the 2008, Eduardo had that injury. In case people don't remember that back in the day, right? I'll
Yeah.
give you a phrase. 2007-8 season, we finished third with 83 points, 4 points off Manchester United, right?
Yeah.
Under Arsene Wenger.
Mhm,
And Eduardo got that
mhm,
injury and we never got a replacement in, right? And
mhm,
that's where it all
mhm.
went wrong as a football club, right? And that's where we started failing and failing. We had these little title challenges up to February, March. And then Leicester, for me, we were top of the league when we beat Leicester at the Emirates. When Danny Welbeck scored, right? Oh, look, I
Yeah,
didn't think
yeah.
we weren't going to win the league. But for me, there was something there to actually believe. But for me, this is the best chance in years because if we don't be up there, look, even if we get second this season, right?
Mhm.
But be touching distance with Manchester City, I'll be like, you know what, Arteta in, right? I never expected this,
For me,
but I
Arteta
ain't gonna
should deliver
celebrate
that
second.
title. He should
I'm
be
not.
delivering that title this
No, he's
season.
got to, and
I
that's
need
why,
him to.
and that's
He
why, and
has
that's
to.
why he has to deliver it.
He
Okay,
has to
let me
deliver
ask
it.
you a question.
If he's not,
Let me
if
ask
he's
you a
not
question.
delivering the title this season, then he should be delivering the Europa League. Anything apart from those two, it's failure to me because I've backed this manager uh, from his first season. Of course, he
But
won the FA Cup, but the
but
reason why
let me
I'm
ask you
backing
a
this
question.
manager right
Let me
now,
ask you. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
the reason why I'm backing this manager right now is because, see, there is no team in the world that would win with Mustafi and Koncheni at the back. Trust me.
No,
No team in the
Kostafi.
world would win a league title with those two. Not talk of a saboteur in Koscielny, who was our captain and turned out to be an
But
enemy
Niall makes a very good
of
comment.
Arsenal.
Niall makes a very good quote. Best chance for Arsenal to get a title this season before Newcastle. Yeah,
We
100%.
should be winning. We
And this
should be
is we've
winning
had
the
these
title.
situations before. Let me say something. Right? We've
I
had
don't
this
want us to
situation.
lower the standards because the standards have been lowered to top four. I don't want that.
Yeah,
This
of course,
season,
of
we
course.
need to deliver
But
that
what
trophy.
really baffled me the other day?
Yeah,
What really baffled me the other day? Sorry to cut your tone, yeah. And
it's okay, man.
what really
You're my
baffled me the other
special
day
guest.
was when we went out. But when we went out of the Carabao Cup the other day, why is our fan base like celebrating that Tottenham are out in the Carabao Cup? Why are we celebrating over that? We both got knocked out at the same time. So why I don't know why there's a little bit of celebration on there, right? But never mind about that. But if Arteta, if you
Yeah,
saying that we have to deliver and try and win the league title, if we're in a title race, and if Arteta does deliver in the January transfer window, and that's where we're going
yeah.
to start defining whether this board actually really care about Arteta, and that's when the
True.
mentality is going to start coming
It's
in and
true.
say, you
And
know what,
that's
if he does
going into
deliver
that January
in
market
January,
and supporting
right,
this guy.
then for
That's all, man.
me, you know what I mean? He's got to deliver in. He's got to deliver in.
He's
But
got to
if
deliver
he
it.
gets, yeah,
And if this board have any sense at all, with them, uh, they will be delivering the goods right now. Because I don't see, I don't want Mikel Arteta to have any excuse in any way.
no, you can't have that. You can't
Yeah,
have
I
that.
don't want him to have any excuse. So I either want him to have the full chance because now he has his own players. The reason why I've been backing this manager is because I recognize people are not willing to give him that benefit of the doubt, but I do because I'm a fair man. I'm a fair person. Yeah, it's true because there's no
Yeah,
one who would be working with a passenger like Mesut Ozil in that team, who would be with a striker who can score goals, Lacazette. Of course, right now he's scoring goals, so we can see where the where the loyalty lies. He's scoring goals in France right now,
yeah,
but at Arsenal he didn't want to
yeah.
deliver,
But
and we're
these
paying
players,
this
yeah, but
guy's
these
fees.
players are scoring right now. They're coming up towards the end of the career, like the Lacazettes, the Ozils. They're performing in their own league because that's their level right now. That's their standard right now.
Maybe that's their standards, but whatever.
That's their
But whatever.
Yeah.
It shows that Mikel Arteta couldn't use these guys to win the championship at the time. So now he's been able to clear the dust out of the room, and right now he has his own team.
But when you say that,
he has no excuse right now.
Yeah, but when you say that, why have we still got the likes of Cedric at the football club?
But he's not in our first 11.
Cedric's crap.
But he's not in our first.
No,
he's not in our first 11.
He's not. No, he's not.
He's not. Yeah, so I'm talking of our first 11. Our squad, people who are playing right now, are his team. Yeah. He brought them in. Even if he did not bring them in, he's sanctioned to keep them in the team right now.
But the thing is, when you say that, Tony Claude, right? Yes, okay, our first team on paper can beat anyone, right? But the problem is, what's really let us down over the years is squad depth. And that's why
I know, and I'll get to that.
That's where the negative comes in for me.
Yeah, because I get it. But right now, this is Mikel Arteta's team. So he has no excuse like the excuse he would have in the first, second.
No, I'm taking it
season.
one game at a time. Yeah,
no,
I'm not.
I totally understand you, but he has no excuse now. This is his team, and now the board should give him no excuse but going into that January transfer window, bringing in a Modric, bringing in an Ivan Toney, bro, with 45 million pounds.
But when you bring 45, they will sell. These guys will sell Ivan Toney if he's on the bench. But Ivan Toney has to come to Arsenal.
35. Bring in a Zaha or a Milinkovic-Savic and a Modric. And that team is complete. We're ready to go. We will win the league with that kind of a team.
Well, 100%.
But will the board do what is necessary?
100%. 100%. If you bring a midfielder, Yeah, go on.
Yeah, we ain't
going to do that, okay?
Yeah, if you bring these players,
1 or 2 players, that's what Arsenal do.
You've put the whole power in this.
And that's what's let us down over the years. We've not managed to finish the final recipe and actually built a very good team.
Yeah, I get you. So we do need this. We just see, it's very simple. This is what the board would do to wash their hands off. A Modric, a Milinkovic-Savic, and Ivan Toney. If you bring in these 4 players, it's done. It's hands clean and just watch Mikel Arteta do his thing. That's all they have to do. A Milinkovic-Savic or a Modric. I would prefer a Modric, actually. Modric, Milinkovic-Savic, Zaha, and Ivan Toney.
For me, I'm not.
Finished. League sealed.
Look, for me, I'm not Modric.
But can they do it? Do they have the cojones to do it?
But can they do it? Look, can they do it, right? We're going to find out in January. We've had these... Look.
We'll find out January, right?
But what really baffles me is, and I'll say my say, and you're 100%, I 100% agree, the fan base cannot accept 4th place. 4th place is a loser, right?
No, okay? I would not accept
the position where we are now.
I won the league title.
And if we're in this position in January, February, we've got to go for the title. And for me, I would not be happy. I would not be happy with 4th place. If we start slipping down, now hold on, yeah. If we slip down, right, and if we scrape top 4, then I'll be Mikel Arteta out. And I know the main objective was to get into the Champions League, but the way we are playing at the moment in the Prem, right, and if we're going to continue this within the next couple of months, we've got to go for the league title. And that's why January, right, is going to be the question whether Stan Kroenke, Josh Kroenke, Edu, Vinay, Richard Garlick are actually going to back Mikel Arteta.
I see, yeah. I totally agree with Luca. I think his internet is messing up, but it will soon be coming back. But see, I totally agree. We need to go into that January transfer window and do our thing, and just get these guys in. We need that Modric in. Okay, Luca is back. Sorry, your internet was having problems
again. But did you catch what I said? Did you catch what I said?
Yeah. I caught what you said before you left, but you're back now, innit?
Yeah, no, what I was saying was that in January, right, the Kroenkes, Edu, Vinay, and Richard Garlick have all got to back Arteta. And that's why if we're in a title race, right, in this situation, and we're going to find out whether this board actually cares about Arteta. And for me, we need at least a couple of additions in. We need a midfielder that's going to back up Thomas Partey. We need a striker and a winger. Right? I'm not Modric's biggest fan. right? And I know I haven't seen him play before people start jumping to the conclusion, but we've seen players like this over the years that have not developed. We need a
But see
winger
now,
like
the
a
states.
Trossard.
But look
Yeah,
at the
but
states
we
we're
need
in
someone
now.
like a
We need any hand. We need any hand right now.
Why does it
Any
have to be
hands.
any hand? Yeah, but why does
No,
it have
no,
to be any hand?
no. But we
We
know
need
that
players
Modric.
who
No,
are going to improve the team.
I know, I know.
Why
But we
can't we
know
not go and
that
get
Modric is a
Trossard?
good
Why
player.
can't we not
We've
go and
seen
get
him
Sahar?
perform in the
Why can't we
Champions
not
League.
go and get these type of
No,
players that
but
we
no,
think
but
want to win the league?
we've seen him perform in the Champions League. That's what I'm saying. So whether we like it or not, he's a decent player. So right now, what I'm saying is that we need any player, a decent, provided they are decent. Bring in these players and let them play. Would you say Ivan Toney is world class? The answer is no. He's still a decent player. Would you say he's world class? Can you say Ivan Toney is world class? But everyone wants him to come to Arsenal. So by that definition, then your mm, your evaluation is a little bit flawed in that sense. So of course we need, whether they're average, whether they're not average or whatever, we need them. We need squad depth in that, Arsenal team right now. So guys, thank you for joining us today. And of course, I was hoping that Steven was gonna show up today, but it seems like he told me he was gonna have a MotoGP stream to do or something like that. So I don't really know if he's gonna come again, but I'm sure I'll really get him maybe next time around, probably maybe in the next week. And also, I will be with a very, very big friend of this channel, um, Anthony Herbert, at the Gooners from All Corners. So I will be with Anthony Albeth on his channel, Gooners from All Corners. I think in the next 22 minutes, I should be with him. So, we'll be talking Arsenal, and, with Anthony, it's always a family meeting with him. Thank you for everyone who came to the show, Niall Kane, and everything you contributed here. The Assembled, big ups to you, Fear of Black London, One Touch TV, Cheesy T, Anthony Herbert, who is also our Crest member of this channel. He said something here. He said, put out on loan, Niall. Did him good, because he wouldn't be the player he is now, mate. Okay, I think Looker is back. Looker, it's only nice that you could come around and, let's finish it up. See, yeah, we did not touch on this Wolves game. You see, when it comes to Arsenal, there's lots of things to just take you away. Is there anything you would like to say about the Wolves game? What are you expecting in this Wolves game? Look,
the thing with the Wolves game, right?
19th on the league table, mind you. Wolves are 19th on the league table. In 14 games, they scored just 8 goals. So they don't present any goal scoring kind of threat in any way, apart from Pedro Neto, who has been netting goals for them. But they've only put in 8 goals. This season, they've conceded a whooping 22 goals in 14 matches.
Crazy.
Now, yeah, they're the whooping dogs of this league. But again, we all know that they have 10 points. But notwithstanding, when all these teams face Arsenal, they just reopen old wounds, and they turn it into a derby. Every match for Arsenal this season is a derby.
Look, for me, it's going to be a really, really difficult game. I do think we will win the game because our
So
coach
are you
will
saying their league? Are you saying their position in the league table doesn't reflect what Wolves as a club stands for this
No, I'm
season?
not saying that. Look. The thing is, right? Psychological thing is, I'm not saying it by that. Look, I'm thinking this is going to be a difficult game. Wolves is not an easy game, right? They ain't got Diego Costa. Whether they had Diego Costa,
No, he won't be playing. He's
no,
suspended.
he's suspended, and we've got players who are going to deal with him. We've got leaders in the team, and the thing is, I think we'll win the game. I do think we will. I think it'll be a tight game, and Arsenal Football Club want to know that the players want to know that yes,
Mm-hmm.
they might be a little bit disappointed that yes, they've gone out of the Carabao Cup, but
Mm-hmm.
players were rested. Partey didn't come on the other night. And the other players did come on but didn't get a lot of game time, so they'll be fresh. I think we'll win the game. I do think we will beat Wolves. We want to go top of the league. It would be nice Brentford putting out as a favour to beat Man
Yeah,
City.
against Manchester City, we do need that help, right, Luca?
However, I think we'll win this game, and I think it will be a tough game. And score prediction I'm going to go for is 2-1 Arsenal. But Wolves are
2-1
not.
Arsenal.
Yeah,
Where do you think will be the key battle?
Midfield. I do think midfield because Wolves have got players on their day that can hurt us. They've got Ruben Neves as well. Yes, they haven't got Neto, and we were linked with him in the transfer market in the previous. And he would have been a player if he was fit right now and was on form. He would have been my number one winger, who I would have got in January, because I think he's a quality player when he's fit. And I personally think the midfield will be interesting because they've got players who can score. Ruben Neves can score against us. He's done it before.
He's done it before.
They've got some good players. And for me, yes, Wolves are not the team what they were. They didn't have a good team compared to a couple of years. I was very surprised that we beat them last season twice.
Twice. It was a shocker.
I was at the game at the Emirates.
Yeah.
And my God, the atmosphere was absolutely phenomenal when Laka got the winning goal. That got us into a top 4 race, although we didn't get what we wanted at the end of the season. But we were in a position at the time. And for me, that's where I do think Wolves' confidence kind of went down a bit. Wolves, before those 2 games, Wolves looked like they were a team that actually could have pushed for a top 6 finish. But
I agree.
But I just look at it like we're going by this game. We have to score first, and we've got to play like we did. And I think we will get the job done. And I do think we will be top of the league because Wolves are now bringing a new manager after the World Cup. I think he's the fourth. It's funny. Wolves are sackable FC managers. And for me, they keep sacking managers. They're starting to become a Chelsea. So
exactly, without even getting the trophy. Okay, my prediction for that game will be 3-1. I think Arsenal would win. It won't be easy it's going to be a strenuous one, but Arsenal might just nick it out 3-1. I see them scoring a goal.
What would be your starting 11? Would you go with the same team that's always performed well in the season?
Yeah. See, man, if you have a winning team, you know what they always say: don't change what's working, right?
No, of course,
so,
and
yeah,
it's working at the moment. It's working
at the moment. Don't change it. Don't change it.
For me, I would go for the usual lineup. You know what it is: Ramsdale in goal, Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Xhaka, Partey, Odegaard, Saka, Jesus, Martinelli. Pretty simple. And,
very simple. Go get the win.
Yeah.
Exactly. Go get the win. So your final prediction for that match against Wolves?
2-1 Arsenal. I think we'll concede.
I'm going for a 3-1. I think Arsenal would we have enough firepower to just
do it. And Wolves are not the team what they were in previous years.
Yeah, exactly.
They've got players like Neto out and
things like
they're
that.
They're not the team. And Raul Jimenez, I think he's still at the club. He's not the player what he was before when we got him injured during the lockdown season when we lost at the Emirates. So
and again they are missing a couple of players. They're missing a couple of players. I think Neves won't be playing. There's a player that I think so, but I don't know. Whatever, but. These teams, they know how to revive the dead.
Ruben Neves, Ruben Neves is out. I have no doubt that we could smash these lot.
Smash them, right? I don't know. That's what I was hearing, but I think it's probably rumors. But they don't have Douglas Costa. At least that one.
Diego Costa, mate. I remember over the years when Chelsea had him, he destroyed us and all that.
But I'm thankful for that.
Costa's not the player what he was before, and
exactly, man. So, man, Luca, thanks for coming to the show.
No worries.
I know this was a very. We have to do, man. Me and you have to see. Me and you have to do shows more often because, we're supposed to have touched all these topics in a very big way, extensively. But we didn't, so which means that there's lots of lots of content for me and you to actually go through. So why are we lacking in doing this, man? So let's leave this Arteta in, Arteta out, and start churning out content, my brother. Let's start doing it, man. So
100%, man. 100%.
yeah, sure. So definitely, I'll be seeing you on Anthony Herbert's show. See, yeah,
Yeah,
Anthony
shortly, man.
Herbert is a very big friend of this channel, mind you. Is a Crest member of my channel. So shout out to
100%,
him.
man. 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Shout out to him. Me and Luca will be going down there to his show. I don't know if
Yeah.
Stephen will be there, but Stephen is likely to be there. I don't know. But Stephen will be there too. So, guys, please join us in that show in Gunners from All Corners with our friend down here, Anthony Herbert. If you know Anthony Herbert, is a big friend of ours, big friend of the show, big friend of Lucas. Also, he supports
Yeah.
lots of like he's a well-known guy in this industry.
Of
He
course.
supports lots of people. So we're me and Luca are going down there to support him too. I think in how many minutes time?
About
In
10
13
minutes.
minutes. 10 minutes, right? So we have to go there. Luca, please, thanks. Shout out your channel, please.
Yeah, man.
Luca.
Yeah, man. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Luca AFC. I apologize that I've not been doing any content recently because I haven't got no internet in my department. Well, obviously, I'm not in my department tonight. So I'm at my family's house. So I haven't got. So I'm sorting out internet at the moment, and also for me trying to get a new iPhone.
Oh, okay.
iPhone
Oh,
14.
so you started to catch that iPhone fever, right?
Yeah, so I'm starting. So as soon as I get my internet sorted and get a new iPhone, should be done within the next week or two. Then content will be banging out on the channel as usual. Don't worry, people. I haven't gone forever. You know what I mean? Just going to try and sort all that out. I know it's been a bit frustrating outside of YouTube, but for me, it will be fine. I'll get it all sorted, and for me, we can start uploading some thumbnails. And then there'll be some content during the Christmas period, and I'll make sure of that. I'll promise you guys, and I'll try and work very hard for it if I can. But I'll let you know if there's any updates on there. Always put it on the community tab. So go and subscribe to the channel, Luca AFC. And before we do, let me have a check how many subscribers we have at this moment of time. We have 2487, so we're 13 away from 2.5K. If we can hit 13 more, 1-3. By the end of the weekend, that will make me brilliant if we can get 2.5K by Sunday. So go and subscribe to the channel.
Man, that'll be good, guys.
So
go and support this guy. Look at AFC. I like it. I like what he churns out. Apart from this YouTube thing, me and him have had discussions
I know I could
over
be
the
negative,
time.
people, mate, but at the same time.
But again,
Well,
there's still something likable about him. I like the guy, So whether anyone likes it or not, I'll be churning out materials with him mostly after the World Cup. During the World Cup, I'll talk to him and see if me and him can do some kind of watch along or something like
100%,
that.
100%.
Yeah, so we can do a couple of watch alongs, maybe one or two, and see how people receive it. Apart from that, when we come back after the World Cup, me and Loco will be working together. We'll be churning a lot of contents together. I've told him backstage that I'll be doing lots of materials with him.
And we all help each other out. If people
Sure. But it won't be sparingly. I want to work deeply with you and churn out lots of content,
Yeah,
even if me and you might have to have our own show if that will be more better for us to have a show for that specifically. 1 week on your channel, 1 week on my channel.
We'll work on that, man.
I will work on that when we come back. Yeah, we'll come back. All right, man. Luca.
Help people out, man.
Yeah, man. Luca, thanks for coming to the show, man. Big ups to you, my brother. I'll see you again and see you on Gunners from All Corners.
Yeah, see you in about 10 minutes. Bye.
Yeah, bye, guys.